know God doesn't like poor people. Jesus never visited any poor person. Anyway, so look at it, verse 13. This is an example of the kind of things that people say about God that is not God. There's a misrepresentation of God's nature and character. And if you have wrong thinking, you will believe wrongly, you will act wrongly. You cannot be in faith. You cannot be in faith. Look at what it says here. Just an example. Let no man say, when he is tempted, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither does he tempt any man with evil. What is he really saying? What is he really after? Wrong thinking, wrong mentality about God's nature, a misrepresentation of the nature and the character of God. And you hear it a lot. People say that sickness is from God. God wanted to teach me or a person's a lesson. That's why he sent sickness to them. People say it. Why is James saying this? Because people say stuff like this. Let nobody say that God sent me a temptation, a trouble, a trial. Nobody should say that. Why? Because God does not do it. You're misrepresenting him. And he says, God cannot be tempted with evil and does not use, another version says, does not use evil to tempt people, to tempt anyone. Does not use evil. Any kind of evil you can think of, God does not do it. A person who thinks that sickness is from God, that tragedies come from God, cannot believe God for healing. You have excised yourself from that. You have removed yourself from that. Earlier on in this verse, in this chapter, in verse 6, James had said something like, he that is double-minded should not believe that he will receive anything from the Lord. Double-minded about God. God will do this today, God will not do this. Look at verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. 15. Then when lust has conceived, so it's talking about trials, like temptations with sin and temptations with other things also. When it has conceived, it brings forth sin. Sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Do not err. Do not make the mistake of thinking that God does what God does not do. If you do, you're making a mistake. You're making a big mistake. The word err, E-R-R, is where you get the word error from. Mistake from. It says, look at, this is God's nature now in verse 17. This is what God does. This is God's nature. This is God's character. Every good. Okay? Every good and every perfect gift is from above and comes down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variableness or shadow of turning.